Did you find it? Okay. So, Overwhelming. The title of this song is Overwhelming, and I've been working on it for a while. And this week when I was trying to decide what to sing, I always pray and ask God, and this kept coming back to me. And then one day I was taking Kennedy to school and turned on the radio, and this song was on again. So we're going to try it today if they can find it. Okay. Mhm. 99, so 24 years. Yeah. Thank you. I agree. Might need one. No, I might need to just sing something, let Patsy and Lynn play for me. We'll see. All right, we'll try it. You turn it up some. You told me in your word how you are working all things for the good of those who will only believe. Every good and perfect gift comes straight from your hands. So remind me, Lord, of this when I need to hear it again, that you are good and you are holy, working all things for your glory. Sometimes I can't even comprehend how you are moving and you're working. My problems you are solving. I don't even know just where to begin, 'cause you're so good, it's overwhelming. I've learned your ways are higher than my mind can conceive, far beyond all I could ever ask or think. And Lord, my heart is trusting in the wisdom of your plan. There is purpose in the pain, though I may not understand. But you're still good and you are holy, working all things for your glory. Sometimes I can't even comprehend how you are moving and you're working.
just where to begin, 'cause you're so good. It's overwhelming. Yes, you are good and you are holy, working all things for your glory. Sometimes I can't even comprehend how you are moving and you're working. My problems you are solving. I don't even know just where to begin, 'cause you're so good. It's overwhelming. God, you're so good. It's overwhelming.
I am sure proud today I serve a God that nothing will overwhelm him, that he can take over everything. Got so many people that are out sick with different colds and different things going on there. But I really want to keep Pastor in prayer. But, you know, this church is special to me because this is home church for me, where I got baptized, where I grew up in Christ in the last 20 years over the time period here, having solid teaching and everything. That's something that a lot of places can't say, that we've been blessed with many people and very good Christians here that want to teach and keep spreading this gospel around here. And, you know, as an old country boy, I was pretty old. I started out in the field. I like to grow garden. That was one of my things. Even as a teenager, I'd grow a garden. I'd grow about an acre of sweet corn every year. I got where back then we had tractor and disc. I'd go up there and disc up there. My rows good and straight, because that way when you're working your corn, keeping it in good shape, tending to it, every time you till it, it's a lot easier to till that straight row, so to keep that straight down through there, because if you make too many turns, you're going to get in that corn stalk by the time you're tilling. And you know, and you work it, it takes a lot. I enjoy the reward out of the corn. You know, nothing I love any better than in summer when you get that ear of corn in there, putting that, you know, boil it, putting that butter, swirl that butter around there and get that big old cob of corn there. But all that takes work and preparation, just like it does in our Christian life. We have to, the reward is sweet, but sometimes no matter what we do, we don't get the reward outcome we're expecting every time. I know when there's been years when I would grow corn, I'd go through all the steps, fertilize, we'd till, we'd work it all out, then dry weather'd hit. So then you'd have nothing but little nubs of corn, you know, and the water wasn't coming. You'd put all the preparation in there, but you just didn't have the result you was looking for. Then there'd be other years that you'd have too much rain. That corn would jump up there real tall, be nothing but stalk nearly, and you'd have it. Now what was there? Lots of times get this old fungus and mold on them ears of corn, wouldn't be worth eating. And then sometimes everything would line up just perfectly in that straight row, and then you'd have a really great crop of corn where you'd have that full ear corn, nothing to go wrong there. And as a Christian, we have that from day to day when we're with our daily walk with things. In Mark's Gospel, they start out. I'm going to start out in Mark for today. Preacher standing up here for years at Little Cypress teaching our people what's right. And that's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of a church that knows the Lord's Word and stays in the Lord's Word. We don't want to be chasing something off down here inside and not what we need to be. I know I'm a King James only guy. And fault me if you want to. Throw some bricks at me, stones, whatever you want to. I still believe that's the Word. I'm not going to change from that. But His Word hasn't changed. He's unchangeable. The Lord's the same today as it was yesterday, and He'll be the same tomorrow. His Word is always going to be standing up for us. And as a Christian, when we're going out here, we have to remember that it's not all about us. It's about Him. In 1 Corinthians, and he was talking, he says, and for one saith, I am of Paul, and another, I am of Apollos. Are ye not carnal? Let me back up and jump ahead of myself here. Sorry about that. Lost my place. And on down here on 5 says, then who then is Paul and who then is Apollos, but ministers by whom you believe, even as the Lord gave it to everybody. I have planted, Apollos watered, and God gave the increase. So, as a servant of the Lord, when we're going out here, that's like when Brother Jeff was visiting people. We all have to plant seeds. That's all we can do. God has to get the increase. It doesn't matter if Brother Jeff planted that seed and I go knocking on the door and that person was to come and to Christ with me there, as I was adding water to the gospel. It doesn't matter. He's got the seed already planted there. And that's what we have to do as Christians. I mean, when we walk out of this building today, we're a representative of Little Cypress and of Christ. And there's things we can do out here in the world that's going to shine the light on Christ where it should be. A simple plant that seed out here. We got a bunch of tracts sitting back there. The only thing it takes is when you're going out to some of these restaurants, which all us Baptists love to do, just leave out tracts sitting around there. I'll leave them at the hospitals when I'm going to hospital, funeral homes. Any place there's a person that walks, there's an opportunity to witness to them, shine that light on God. Plant that seed. That's all it amounts to. You don't have to preach a sermon to do that. That little tract that we carry around in our pockets right here is so powerful. It tells of his salvation. Only thing we have to do, say, brother, appreciate you. I'd love to have you here to come to church. Sister, glad to see you. Come to church here. We love you. You see what I'm doing? We're planting seeds. Brother, good to have you here today. These seeds plant and grow. Good to have you all here today. I sure love to have you all here. And you know, the power of these seeds that we hand out here are something that grows in people. You know, that little piece of corn that we plant. You take that little piece of corn there, and how what we got? You want one of these? It's all right. We'll hand out the seed here. I am not going to leave you or forsake you yet. We got plenty of them. I'll tell you, these little seed packs we get, that's just like the kernel of corn that you plant. You know, I was talking about how that when you plant and have a good year, that corn will grow up tall. You fertilize it, you seed it, you weed it, you do all this work for it. And then you see the increase where God has prospered it. I remember the bad years when the dry weather was there. You'd have a little piece of corn maybe that big with about 5 or 6 kernels on it. But you take and plant that one kernel with the same hope as you would any other day. You don't know if that one kernel is going to grow that nice big heaping of corn that's got 2 big ears on it that's just overrunning with them kernels. Or you don't know if it's going to wither. But when we plant this seed, it's got room to grow. If one person comes to Christ through just simple planting of seed, they're going to tell somebody else about it. And then that other person going to tell somebody else about it. We're going to spread the good news. That's what we're here for, to spread the good news of Christ. And you know, until we do see that, you know, we are to love the Lord and we are to love one another, love our neighbors. That's part of it right there. We don't have to be jumping and shouting and hooping and hollering, but sometimes a silent little seed there. I've been to hospital waiting rooms before, and we'll have a hospital look, and there'll be somebody else leaving crap there. A lot of people got good price, and they like to plant that seed. A lot rather see that planted there as a lot of these other things going on. You know, God, that's just not no news to him. It doesn't surprise him one bit that you plant that seed and you're going to see growth. Now, Matthew's gospel, when you turn over it, I want you to see something here. I'm not going to preach a long sermon. I like to get the point across, and we can have some time to think about things here. In Matthew's gospel, we got a very common, feedback here. Turn it down just a little, Cody. All right. And in Matthew's gospel, chapter 13, and we're talking Jesus talking the parable here. Some people's hearts are so hard and they don't want to believe that there's a Christ or that there's any thing they're doing wrong, possibly, you know, that we're above that. But we all are sinners. It tells in His Word that none was perfect except the one that walked the earth here and came and laid in the tomb for 3 days and rose again and to bear our sin death. Only Jesus was the perfect one that ever walked this earth. Any of us that think that we're perfect in here, we're just better kind of paint yourselves and wake up a little bit, because I'm just as fallible and more so than probably anybody in here. But the main thing is we got to know that the Lord loves us. He wants us to spread His light and just let that light shine out here for Little Cypress, for Him, for our country, our nation. Our nation is getting in such bad shape with all these things that are going on. I can't help but think it's coming. You know, me and my wife talked one day there about some of the things that we're going to use in California, record setting flood. No matter what we heard about floods and vegetables, the world don't know about that. God's word tells us in 10 days. Now that all I think it's all getting so common together all the time. But why can't the Lord say but as a Christian, we can hand down the seed. Don't forget it. Because every time, it would be so great that every time I went to somebody and talked to them that was lost, that they'd accept Christ right then and there. Let's face it, that's not going to happen very often. I mean, they have to be under conviction to do that most of the time. It's not something I'm doing that's going to change anybody, or pastor's doing that's going to change anybody. God's word. And we all have to be responsible for planting the seed. We need to be happy planting, like Paul was talking about. When He was on this earth, just touch His garment and people were healed. Speak it. I love how He just spoke it, and the one that was healed wasn't even there. How He called out for Lazarus to arise. The power that He possessed. You know, I always like about Lazarus, how that if He hadn't said Lazarus to rise, I wonder how many would have been coming out of them graves that day. You know, He was very specific in who He wanted to rise that day. That's the type of